down and decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to send a check. I'm going to be dead honest. If I send a check, if I owe MLGW, the light, gas, and water people, and my friend, Stringfellow, just decide to give me $300 to pay the light, gas, and water bill. They're not going to be looking on there to try to find out, oh man, this didn't come from Cornelius Watson. This said Elder Stringfellow on here. Well, if the account number matches up to my address, that's the only thing that matters, amen? Amen. And God is not concerned with the fact of who names on the check. God has wrote a check and has paid your bill, but you have to receive the check, amen? You have to decide, I'm going to allow Jesus to take away all my sins, amen? It comes down to you. Check this out, the 5th verse. Somebody said, no more excuses. No more excuses. Y'all, there's truly no more excuses, because your bill has been paid. There are no more excuses. Check out the 5th verse. It said, those who live according to the sinful nature have their mind set on what that nature desires. But those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their mind set on what the Spirit desires. Now, if there's no more guilt, if the bill has been paid, why in the world I don't feel like it applies to me? Because y'all, we still know about ourselves, amen? Amen. We still really feel like we done messed up, and we feel like we need help, amen? Amen. But the reason we feel this way is because of two things. Somebody say mindset, and choices. God can pay your bill. God can relieve you. God can set you free. Because the verse just said, I've been set free. Somebody say it again, say, I've been set free. I've been set free. But regardless, it depends on, do you believe it or not? All right. What's your mindset? And then, not only do you believe it, what choices you going to make after you say you believe it? Amen. Somebody say, it's up to me. It's up to me. Jesus can set you free, but it's up to you to walk in freedom. The reason we don't walk in freedom because we've been institutionalized. All right. Now, to be institutionalized doesn't only apply to folks in the correction facility. Y'all, we have been institutionalized. The reason I'm getting this institutionalized because I sit up and watch A&E. National Geographic. I think it's National Geographic. That's National Geographic. Hard times. I love me some hard times. Watching these prisoners inside the thing. But a lot of these prisoners become institutionalized. They do something. Y'all, I promise you, we can relate ourselves to prisoners. Amen? Amen. Somebody say, I wasn't nothing but a prisoner. I wasn't nothing but a prisoner. And some of us still living in prison. Amen? Amen. But we can relate our life to prisoners because, see, what happens is we do something to mess up. Just like a prisoner. They do something, get themselves in trouble. When they get in trouble, they get locked up for a certain amount of time. They got to do some hard time. Amen? After we mess up, we got to deal with some hard times in our life. Now, what happens is, after they have done their time, after the judge see fit to allow them to do enough time where you got to do this much time, then you're free. After they become free, they actually have lived that prison life for so long that when they're free, they end up going right back to prison. And many of us have lived in a life of sin for so long that when God sets us free, guess what we do? We go right back. We go right back into the same thing because we are institutionalized. But we're institutionalized in our mind. Somebody say it's a mindset. It's a mindset. You don't have to do it. Man, the devil will tell you, well, I got to go and take a drink. No, you ain't. You really don't. But we choose this mindset and choices. Amen. God has really set us free from any addiction, y'all. I'm just being dead honest with you. God can set you free from any addiction. But it's up to us to choose to walk in freedom. Amen. Now, you can't walk in freedom doing the same walks you need to get into that addiction. Amen. Somebody say amen. Amen. You cannot free yourself by doing the same thing that got you in jail. These people get free from jail, and they get so comfortable. They're living a jail life. They're living the life of the system taking care of them. You know, you can depend on your 3 hots in a cot. Now, 3 hot meals and a place to lay your head. And y'all, we have become institutionalized like that. We will choose to stay with people because we get 3 hots in a cot. I know I'm telling the truth. Amen. We have people that will choose to stay with people that they don't love, that they're not particularly care about. But you know what? I get 3 hots in a cot. Let me stay right here. Let me stay. I know I don't like her and she don't like me. But at least I get 3 hots in a cot. So we get institutionalized, we'll stay in there. Y'all, it is crazy how the system has institutionalized our people. Y'all, there are people that decide not to get married because they're institutionalized. Come on, Pastor, you ain't saying that. Yes, I am. I'm telling the truth. People decide not to get married because they're institutionalized. How do I know? Because people had told me, well, Pastor, I ain't going to marry him because if I marry him, they're going to take my government assistance away from me. I'm being dead honest with you. People will choose not to get married because they would rather be institutionalized. They figure the government going to make sure they get paid. Make sure they have a place to stay. And they will choose to stay in that position. This man was telling me that he was married, that he had asked numerous times for another girl to marry him. Brother was telling me, man, I'm telling her I'm married. Now this brother told me too, I ain't gonna mess up my good thing. I said, your good thing? I ain't gonna mess up my good thing. Because man, if I mess up with this girl, I ain't got nowhere to lay my head. All right. So evidently, his good thing is 3 hots in a cot. All right. It's not that he loved the girl. He loved the living arrangement. And I was like, brother, why don't you just because they institutionalized. Sister Bell said, why don't he get a job? Because they've been institutionalized. Because once you get institutionalized, you're used to people giving you food without you working. So, you know, when you go to jail, man, they bring you food, you ain't got to work. And some of us, when we get out that system, man, it was easier in jail. Maybe they told me what to do and when they told me to do it, but at least I ain't had to pick up my hand to do nothing. At least I ain't have to get out of my do nothing. And we become institutionalized. Don't give me a hand, because I know I'm telling the truth. We become institutionalized. In fact, the brother told me that he had asked the girl numerous times to marry her. And now let me tell you, I'm not talking about nobody in here, y'all. I see how y'all looking at me. I guess a couple of y'all brothers done said this. But I promise to God, I'm not talking about nobody in here. But if it hits you, you might be on the 3 hot and cotton. But the brother said he had asked the sister to marry. And the sister goes, you know I can't marry you. You know if I marry you, I can't get my assistance no more. Well, if you marry him, maybe he will give you assistance. Amen. Amen? But the sister don't want to do that. You know why? Because he ain't working already. Amen. He ain't got no job right now. Sister said, I'm going to take my chances with the government instead of taking my chances with this institutionalized brother right here. And that's what happens, y'all. That's the reason marriage has been broken down. That's the reason, and y'all, if marriage fails, guess what? The community fails. The reason because the household fails. Y'all, the reason we have so much problem in the household because we don't have that male figure in the place. Now, you see brothers and, you know, hey, like I said, man, as long as we here, as long as we got good, strong brother, thank God for Brother Tony Clark and Brother Al Ballard and the different out there, Brother G. Rob and all that. Give a lot of a hand for all brothers and good brothers. Well, you got men hanging out on a Saturday just barbecuing and stuff. And then, not only that, but you got other young men around. You got Brother Monroe and what my brother Ernest and all them. You see being around men. The only way Kadarius and Jamarcus gonna know how to become men, they got to see men. The only way fat man gonna know how to be a man, he got to have a man in his life. Give Lord a praise. So it's important for us to be in their life. Amen. So I thank God. Brother Tony didn't have to do that. Brother Tony just called me and said, hey, Pastor, why don't we just, we're going to be already meeting. Why don't we just get together and cook something and just have a good time. If it ain't nothing but some meat, that's all right, Tony. It sounds like a good idea. And man, we start doing that meat, but y'all know them sisters ain't going to leave us. What you think? Man, we start getting us some meat together. And man, them sisters start showing up with some baked beans, coleslaw. Man, you got baked beans and coleslaw. And man, then that thing, Brother G-Rob went over there and got some Kool-Aid. I told you, whenever you got Kool-Aid, you got yourself a party. I don't care what that. If you get some Kool-Aid, I don't care what's going on, you got a chance for a party. If you get some Kool-Aid. And man, we mixed that Kool-Aid. We had a good time last night, didn't we? Man, so out there then, somebody. I ain't gonna tell y'all where we did this at, because I don't want folks to get in trouble. But man, they watched Planet of the Apes somewhere last night too. Bro, how that go? But I said, Pastor, I don't think this movie out yet. Well, yes, it is. It is out. It was out here yesterday. So, hey, but we had a good time, didn't we, amen? Well, somebody said you got to get rid of the institutionalized mind. You got to get rid of the institutionalized mind. All right, the way you get rid of y'all, it depends on your mindset and the choices you make, amen? Amen. You can walk in freedom, but you have to choose. Say you have to choose to be free. You have to choose to be free. You have to have a mind that I'm going to be free, amen? Amen. It's an easy thing to fall back and say, well, I'm just a sinner. God knows I got problems. Yeah, God knew you got problems. That's the reason he sent Jesus. We started off to say, hey, the problem has been solved. Everybody said the problem has been solved. God solved the problem at the beginning of this birth. There is no more guilt. There's no more shame. There's no more condemnation if you choose Jesus. Somebody say you got to choose Jesus. You have to choose Jesus, y'all. You have to choose it. This says, the 6th verse, the mind of the simple man is death. I told you it comes down to choices and mindset. Now the mindset of the sinful man is death. It said the mind of the sinful man is death. But the mind controlled by the Spirit is life and peace. Now y'all, if I had 2 doors, that door and this door, and I tell you, if you go through that door, somebody's going to be waiting around to shoot you in the head. But if you go to that door, somebody's going to be waiting to give you $100.